Patrick Mahomes has spoken in an interview on CNBC, of all places. He was on the CNBC interview. I think it was only on one of their digital platforms. It didn't look like it was something that they ran on TV. It was a 13-minute conversation. So it was on CNBC Sport is where it aired. It's a subsidiary of CNBC, but I don't think this entire 13-minute interview aired on CNBC. But he was on there to talk about this new coffee that he's invested in, Throne Sport Coffee. So we all know what the game was and how this was being played. But to their credit, the CNBC anchor did ask about Kansas or Missouri. Where does Patrick Mahomes want to be playing towards what could be the tail end of his career come the early 2030s? And here's what he told CNBC.
Which of these do you prefer?
You know, it's really out of my control, honestly. But I think Arrowhead's a special place. It's a special place that doesn't come around a lot of times. It's my favorite place to play in the NFL, not just because it's my team, but you can feel the history of it when you play. But I know Kansas has done a great bit as well. And, I mean, they would build a great stadium and facility. It'd be the top of the top. And so I don't really have a choice in the matter anyways, but I think either way, we can't go wrong because we have the fan base of the Chiefs Kingdom behind us, and they'll fill that stadium no matter if it's in Missouri or Kansas. So I'm just excited for the future of the Kansas City Chiefs.
What a good politician. What a good politician there from Patrick Mahomes. He wants to stay. Let's be very clear. He's doing the Mahomes thing. He's doing the politician thing. Yeah, Kansas, it really would be great. They do a great job. They build a nice stadium. But you can hear it in his voice. You can read between the lines on that. He doesn't want to go to Kansas. He wants to stay. And he wants to stay for what I believe the reasons are. The average fan wants to stay. They like it. It gets the job done. New stadium, comes more suites, higher ticket prices, squeezes the average fan even further, doesn't connect with them, doesn't work. Lose all the memories. All those things that regular people think about, that I think about when going to games, whether it's as a kid, with my dad, whether it's now taking my kids, like I did to the K on Saturday, or just going with friends. Those everyday things. Those experiences that you get from a stadium, the memories that you have matter. And Patrick Mahomes just said as much in that 35-second clip. He was trying to be nice about it. He knows that he can't come out and say, yeah, I want to stay in Missouri. I want to stay at Arrowhead. He can't say it that bluntly. Ownership won't let him. They're working both sides of the state line against each other. But if Patrick Mahomes really wanted to play the middle of the road, he would have just said, guys, I can't comment on that right now. Ownership is doing its thing. We got two great options. I'm going to let the chips fall where they may. He didn't. He talked about Arrowhead. He talked about it being a special place. He talked about feeling the history. He didn't have to do that. He chose to do that. He went out of his way to do that. And there's nothing this guy says that's by mistake. He's smart. He's savvy. Not a rookie, wide-eyed, who has no idea what he's doing. He knew exactly where he was going to go with this question. And he answered it, frankly, in an honest way, and frankly, more honest than I would have imagined he would have answered this question.
He's smooth.
Yeah, he was very smooth about it.
Well, right, if he says, I don't really want to comment.
Yeah.
Now we all make assumptions.
Mm-hmm.
We fill that vacuum with our own thoughts. Right?
Absolutely.
No, he plays. He sucks up to both sides there.
A little
Kisses,
bit. Yep.
It's all good to him. He doesn't have a choice, which is
And he did say that,
point.
too. He didn't have a choice. But I get the sense that this guy is not looking to play anywhere else other than Arrowhead Stadium. Now, I'm not saying that's the reason that Clark Hunt may decide to stay. But certainly doesn't hurt. Now, Mahomes, by the time you get to 2031, he is going to be 36 years old. And who knows what the gut looks like by then. I can't get over the news cycle last week. I can't get over it. It's just people just lose their minds sometimes. Oh, my gosh. people that just don't even know what's going on with this radio station or this town or, the amazing and great Kevin Keatsman have just lost their minds. They really have. This world has broken so many people on social media. But, he's going to be older. You don't know what exactly his status is going to be at that point in time. But it does make you wonder, how much of a say does he ultimately have? I don't think he's a key decision maker, and nor should he be when you're talking about a multi-billion-dollar decision that is going to go out 30, 40, 50 years. But it probably doesn't hurt. 913-408-7957. Let's go to Tammy in Shawnee. Hey, Tammy, good morning. You're on KCMO.
Good morning, Pete. Hey, listening to that clip, for me, the most important thing was the fact that he was letting us know that he's going to stay in Kansas City. He wants to retire and become part of the Chiefs Hall of Fame. That's what's important to him, and he recognizes what a great community Kansas City is. And he's not going to go off and be a Joe Montana and leave us and go somewhere else and retire. And in this day and age where they could make so much more money, and Lord knows he could, that's saying something about his character.
Well, Tammy, from your lips, I'll just say that much. You never know how these relationships play out between stars and teams. They usually break down at the end. I mean, history would suggest, whether it's Montana, whether it's Tom Brady, whether it's Aaron Rodgers,
Peyton Manning.
Yep. I mean, history would suggest they usually don't finish out where they started. Obviously, we all want that to not happen in this relationship. The main thing, though, is that you get the prime years out of the quarterback in your community, right? And that's the big thing. And that for Mahomes, as he gets set to turn, 30 this year, you got to figure at least 5 years. Easily. 5 years, right? That's where you get to the point where you say to yourself, okay, at 35 after that, you're probably playing with house money. Most people are not going to be Tom Brady at, 42, 43. I think he was 44 his last year playing in the NFL. It's just too much wear and tear on the body. Steve in Merriman, go ahead, Steve. You're on KCMO.
Hey, good morning to you.
What's up, my man?
It just occurred to me after listening for whatever years, it's come to my realization there should be one and only one answer for anyone who is not an owner or an owner's representative. And Mahomes touched on that when he talked about, the great Chiefs kingdom and fans. Everybody's answer should be they want the stadium result that's in the best interest of the fan base and the taxpayer. Because honestly, outside of the owners, that's all everyone else should be interested in. I guess maybe to some degree the players, but more than anything, the answer should be what result is in the best interest of the fan base and the taxpayers. That's what we should be thinking about.
Yeah.
The owners have the right to think about, hey, what's in the best interest of us?
And that's and you're right. I mean, and there's no doubt about it that 2 new stadiums will come with more suites and more things that appeal to Fortune 500 companies and things like that. But that's irrelevant to average fans sitting in section, 322 at Arrowhead or 427 at Kauffman Stadium. Those things just don't matter. And yes, the taxpayer should be a part of this conversation as well. But let's just be honest, the taxpayer was shipped down the river a long time ago in this process. But the one thing that, continues to come up here is how much more money can these teams make with a new stadium? And while theoretically more suites mean more money, you do have a finite number of major corporations that can afford suites for 2 professional sports teams, right? So there is a cap to how much money you can make on this stuff in Kansas City compared to, say, Dallas or Los Angeles or some of the other larger markets in the NFL and Major League Baseball. That's why the Royals blueprint is really a lot more about trying to make money when it comes to apartments and office space and restaurants and bars with some other type of entertainment district than it is about maybe more suites inside of a stadium.
Yeah,
John.
It's like having an off-season job.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Got to have some off-season income.
Get that? That's a good analogy. Players back in the old days going to drive cabs and, sell suits and things like that.
Lenny was on Channel 9.
Yeah, those days as well. You're right about that. You go back to Babe Ruth, who was playing, off-season baseball for a couple of bucks, hitting home runs wherever he could, traveling the country, doing that whole song and dance. So that's the kind of stuff that needs to be thought about more. You're right about that, Steve. Good call.